about what do we do in oral pathology postings as an intern. Oral pathology is the department which handles dental anatomy and oral histology also. So in first year and in third year, in first year you go there for carving because that comes under dental anatomy, and oral histology, and in third year you have oral pathology. So for that subject you go for oral pathology practicals where you just study the slides and all, but there's no as such work for you. You just have to like study the slides, make a report. When you become an intern, it's a little different. The story just changes into you doing a lot of work. So what exactly you have to do is what I'm going to tell you today. Make sure to like this video if you want to know more about what do you do in other postings as an intern. First of all, we have oral pathology postings. You have that posting for 15 days. In my college, I am a dental intern at MCOTS Manipal, so we have that posting for around 15 days. In those 15 days, we do comparatively less work than other subjects because you don't have to go into the clinics a lot. So basically the work quota is collecting around 5 or 4 smears. Mostly they prefer you using a pre-malignant lesion and taking a smear out of it. So basically a smear is just scraping of the cells around the lesion. Take this ice cream stick, and if this is your cheek, you just do like this around the lesion. Like if the lesion is on the buccal mucosa or on the gingival buccal area or on the floor of the mouth, anywhere in the oral cavity, you just have to scrape off the cells and put it on a glass slide. And when you like just put it on the glass slide, you have to put that slide in a fixative. Fixative is mostly alcohol based, so you have this Coplin jar and there's fixative in it. So you put your slide there, take the Coplin jar back to your lab, and then stain the slides. So you go there, you find the case, you take the smear, you write the basic details of the patient, the chief complaint, the habit history, the other systemic diseases included and all. And after that, you take the sign from the concerned faculty who's taking charge of that patient, and you take your jar with the slide, come back to the department, and you stain the slide. So staining is what we do here is HNE staining. HNE as in hematoxylin and eosin stain. Staining procedure is very easy. Like you have a manual, they will give you a manual about how many minutes into which solution, and after staining the slides according to the procedure which is given, you dry the slides, air dry it, and then you place the DPX on it and put the cover slip and then study the slide under a microscope. We use 40x magnification or 100x magnification, whatever is suitable for seeing the slides. This you have to do for 4 patients or 5, depending on what quota your college has given you. Our college gave us 4 patients ka quota per person. So we have to take that slide, 4 of those 4 lesions, and we have to study it. And after studying, we have to make a pathology report, which the faculty will help us. This work of smear collection is done. Smear collection, staining is done. Smear slides will look like this. I don't know about other colleges, but mostly they will give you the materials. They won't ask you to buy slides for yourself. There's one more job for you, which is creating a ground section of the tooth. So basically, ground section is to study the longitudinal or transverse section of the tooth. Either you cut the tooth like this or to cut the tooth like this. So you can see the enamel, dentine, pulp space, dentinal tubules, enamel tufts, etc., etc. So you can see the transverse section and the longitudinal section. Transverse looks like this and the longitudinal section looks like this. So what we do is we take a tooth. See, if this is your tooth, you take the tooth and you put it into cube of plaster. What you have done in DM, like making cuboids and shapes out of plaster, you have to do the same thing. You just have to take the tooth and mount it in that cube such that half of the tooth is above. So you have to mount it mesiodistally, not buccolingually. So you mount it mesiodistally, like you put the distal surface on the surface of the plaster, embed it a little bit, and such that a little bit of the tooth, the mesial part is like exposed to the environment. Take the cube. You know there's a lathe in prostho. This is the lathe, you can just see. So you take the cube and you push it against the lathe so that the mesial surface, it gets grinded because of the lathe. After half of your tooth is grinded, you remove the tooth out of that plaster cube that you had made, and you make another cube, and then mount the tooth from the opposite side. Like your mesial side was already grounded, you take the mesial side and put it facing downwards on the plaster cube so that the distal side, which is still remaining, like it's not grinded yet, is exposed to the environment. And when it's exposed, you do the same thing with the lathe and it grinds the distal side of the tooth. So after the distal is cut, the mesial is cut, you have a thin tooth section, which is the ground section, which is the LS. This is all for the LS. After you have like a thin part of the tooth, which will look like this, you can use that on a Arkansas stone or a carborundum stone. It looks like a cuboid like this, and so then you just have to take a little bit of pumice on the stone and water, and then you put the section of your tooth and start grinding it. Like with your finger, put the pressure along that tooth, and you'll grind it like this. And after grinding, after it's like grinded a lot as in it should be translucent, like you can see through it like that. and it's tough to get it to be that thin. But if you just sit and grind it for like an hour on the stone for a very long time, it will become thin. So don't worry, it's very easy because you don't have anything else to do. So in 15 days, you will definitely get the tooth to be as thin as a paper or as thin as it floats on the water. And after your thinning is done, you put the tooth section into xylene for 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, so that all the dentinal tubules are like blocked and you can see them properly in the microscope. Then again, you take this tooth section, put the DPX, and then put the cover slip so that the tooth is mounted on the slide and studied under a microscope. And for transfer section, it's the same thing, only the process of mounting is different. In the cube that you have made out of plaster, you can put the tooth occlusal and apical surface. The apical will get embedded into the plaster and the half of the occlusal surface is there. So like 50% of the tooth is outside of the plaster and half of it is inside. That's how you do it, and then you put it against the lathe so that the full coronal part is like grinded because of the lathe, and then you remove the tooth out of the plaster cube and then make another plaster cube and then mount the tooth such that the apical end, which was not grinded, is exposed to the environment, and then you lathe it again and then it becomes thin, and after that you do the fine grinding on the Arkansas stone, and that's how you do the LS and the TS of the tooth. And after you are done, you mount it. It is very easy. For 15 days you only have 2 jobs, smear and ground section, and it is very easy because you're not doing patients, so it's not tough. Because after OMR, Perio, OS, all these postings you get tired, and OPATS feels very relaxing. I think you have understood what you have to do in an oral pathology posting as a dental intern. And if you want me to make videos on any other posting and what all quotas do I have and what you can anticipate in your internship, I will definitely make it. Let me know what is your favorite subject in the comments. See you guys in the next video. Till then.